Big day, big problem.
Friday morning came with bright sunshine. Lily opened her eyes slowly. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then she remembered. Mrs. Patterson's house, London. Today was the competition. She sat up quickly. Her heart started beating fast. Maya was already awake. She sat on her bed and looked out the window. Her face was pale. She looked nervous. "Good morning," Lily said quietly. "Good morning," Maya answered. "Did you sleep well?" "Not really," Lily admitted. "I kept thinking about today." "Me too," Maya said. "I'm so nervous. What if we make mistakes? What if we're not good enough?" "We will be good enough," she said. "We've practiced so much. We know what to do." Maya looked at her. "But all those other people, they probably have expensive training. They have professional teachers. We have nothing." "We have each other," Lily said. "And we have our music. That's enough." There was a soft knock on the door. Mrs. Patterson came in with a tray. On it were 2 plates with toast, eggs, and fruit. There were also 2 cups of hot tea. "Good morning, girls," she said with a warm smile. "I thought you might like breakfast in bed today. You need energy for this afternoon." "Thank you so much, Mrs. Patterson," both girls said. She put the tray on the small table. "How are you feeling?" she asked. "Nervous," Maya said honestly. "That's completely normal," Mrs. Patterson said. She sat on the chair near the window. "When my daughter Sarah performed for the first time, she was terrified. But you know what she told me? She said the nervousness means you care. It means it matters to you." The girls ate their breakfast slowly. The food was delicious, but their stomachs felt tight. They looked at themselves in the mirror. "We look so plain," Maya said quietly. "It doesn't matter," Lily said. But her voice was not confident. At 10 o'clock, they left the house. Mrs. Patterson drove them to the XL London Center. The car ride took 20 minutes. Nobody spoke much. They were all thinking about what was coming. When they arrived, the parking lot was already full of cars. Families walked toward the building. Many people carried instrument cases. Some wore bright, expensive clothes. They walked into the building and followed the signs to the competition area. The main hall was enormous. Hundreds of people were there. Young musicians stood in groups. Some practiced quietly. Others talked and laughed. Everywhere Lily and Maya looked, they saw talent and confidence. A girl with long blonde hair wore a beautiful blue dress covered in sparkles. She held a violin that looked very expensive. The wood was dark and shiny. Near her, a boy in a black suit tuned a guitar. It was not an ordinary guitar. It was a professional instrument with gold details. "Look at all these people," Maya whispered. Her voice was shaking. "Look at their clothes. Look at their instruments." Lily looked down at her own simple sweater. She felt very small. A group of 3 girls walked past them. They wore matching purple dresses. Their hair was professionally styled. They carried matching white violins. They looked at Lily and Maya. One girl whispered something to her friends. They all giggled and walked away. Lily's face became red. "They're laughing at us," she said quietly. "Don't think about them," Mrs. Patterson said firmly. "You are here because you have talent. Real talent. That's what matters. Not fancy clothes or expensive instruments." But it was hard not to feel different. Everywhere they went, people stared at them. Their clothes were too simple. They looked like they didn't belong here. They found the waiting area for their performance slot. It was a large room with many chairs. About 30 other participants sat there. Most were with their parents. Lily and Maya sat down next to Mrs. Patterson. They felt very out of place. A woman next to them wore a fur coat. Her daughter had perfect makeup and a designer dress. The woman looked at Lily and Maya. Her eyes went up and down, judging them. Then she turned away without smiling. At 12:30, a staff member came to their area. "Everyone in this group, please follow me to the instrument room. You can choose your instruments and warm up." They all stood and followed the woman down a long corridor. They entered a huge room full of instruments. There were guitars of all sizes and colors. There were violins, pianos, drums, and more. "Choose whatever you need," the staff member said. "You have 30 minutes to warm up." Maya walked slowly to the violin section. There were at least 20 violins on stands. She picked one up carefully. It was beautiful, much better than anything she had ever touched. She put it under her chin and tested the strings. The sound was pure and clear. Lily went to the guitars. She chose a simple acoustic guitar. It felt good in her hands. They found a quiet corner and started to warm up. Lily played some chords softly. Maya drew the bow across the strings. But they could hear other people too. A boy nearby played the piano brilliantly. His fingers moved so fast. A girl sang with a voice like an angel. She hit high notes perfectly. Another boy played the saxophone with so much skill. Lily and Maya looked at each other. Everyone here was so good. How could they compete with this? At 1 o'clock, they had to go back to the waiting area. The performances were about to start. They sat and waited. One by one, names were called. Participants left the room and went to perform on stage. Some came back smiling, others came back crying. The tension was terrible. Lily held Maya's hand. Both their hands were cold and sweaty. At 2:15, a voice came over the speaker. "Lily Thompson and Maya Patel, please come to the stage entrance." This was it! They stood up. Their legs felt weak. Mrs. Patterson walked with them to the door. "Remember," she said, "play from your hearts. Show them who you really are. I believe in you completely." She hugged them both. Then they walked through the door. The corridor to the stage was dark. They could hear music from the current performance. Then it stopped. There was applause. A staff member with a headset looked at them. "You're next. When the light turns green, walk onto the stage. Stand in the marked spots. The host will introduce you. Then you perform. Good luck." The light turned green. They walked forward. Suddenly, they were on a huge stage. Bright lights shone down on them. They couldn't see the audience, but they could hear them. Hundreds of people, maybe 1,000. A man in a suit stood at the front of the stage. He was the host. He smiled at them. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next performers. Lily Thompson on vocals and guitar, and Maya Patel on violin. Let's hear it for them." There was polite applause. Lily and Maya walked to their marked positions. There were 2 microphones. Behind them was the backing music system. Maya held her violin. Her hands were shaking. Lily picked up the guitar. She tried to smile, but her face felt frozen. The music started. It was their backing track. Lily began to sing. Her voice came out soft and clear. Maya lifted the violin and started to play. The notes flowed beautifully. They had chosen a song about hope and dreams. about never giving up. Lily sang the first verse perfectly. Maya's violin created a beautiful melody around her voice. They started to relax. The music was working. They were doing it. Then, Lily played a guitar solo. Her fingers moved across the strings. The sound filled the huge room. Maya joined in again with the violin. Their music blended together perfectly. The second verse came. Lily's voice grew stronger. She sang with real emotion. She thought about the orphanage. She thought about their escape. She thought about sleeping on a cold bench. She put all of it into her voice. They were halfway through the song. The audience was silent, listening. Everything was going perfectly. Then suddenly, there was a loud noise at the back of the hall. Doors burst open. Heavy footsteps echoed. "Stop!" a voice shouted. "Stop! This immediately!" The music continued from the speakers, but Lily stopped singing. Maya's violin bow froze in the air. Everyone turned to look. Mrs. Blackwood marched down the center aisle. 2 police officers walked with her. Her face was red with anger. She pointed at the stage. "Those girls!" she shouted. "Those girls are runaways! They escaped from my orphanage! They are thieves and liars!" The audience gasped. The jury members looked shocked. Lily felt like she couldn't breathe. Maya dropped her violin bow. It clattered on the stage floor. Mrs. Blackwood reached the front. She climbed the steps onto the stage. The police officers followed her. "I am Mrs. Blackwood from St. Margaret's Orphanage in Manchester," she said loudly. "These girls ran away 3 days ago. They climbed out a window in the middle of the night. I have been searching for them. I am taking them back immediately." One jury stood up. He was a famous musician named David Wells. "Is this true?" he asked Lily and Maya. Lily opened her mouth, but no words came out. Tears ran down her face. Maya stood frozen. She couldn't speak either. The whole room was silent. Everyone stared at the stage. Nobody knew what would happen next.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to catch the next episode of Emma and Lily. See you in the next thrilling episode.